It was like one of those episodes of Police Squad where everyone has to stand still at the end going.
Well, I'm looking over here.
It doesn't appear that we're live yet.
No,
Let's have a little look.
Oh,
nice, no, we're not live.
Still, it's not live yet. Let me refresh. Yes, I can see it. We are live.
Oh, I'm not live on my iPad yet.
Yes, we are live
so
here.
Professional.
We're live.
Are we?
Yeah, I can see it. We're live.
I can see it.
I can see it here.
What's happening then? Come on.
I need to see some questions. I can never figure that out. I want to see the questions come in. You would think we would have,
You think we'd be better prepared, wouldn't you?
But that's only because...
Hey, I can see it. We're live.
See, we're live. Are you getting questions coming in?
Which little grey dot are you? Are you the one on the left or the one in the middle? Or the one on the right?
Because
that's all I've got at the moment. I don't have a live picture on my screen. I just have 3 dots.
I've got...
Oh, no, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can see us.
It's live.
Yay!
It is live.
Hello, everybody.
But I don't see the questions.
I've got the questions.
Oh,
Panic not. Welcome. It's Friday afternoon here in the UK. I don't know what time. I guess that means it's sometime in the morning in America. So happy breakfast if you're on the West Coast. Maybe you're still asleep if you're on the West Coast.
Happy breakfast.
We have... I'm here. Pete's here.
Hello.
That way?
Everybody.
Yeah, he's there. We've even got it. So when I look at the screen of Pete, it's actually me looking across. Anyway.
Can we do the high five thing there?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, wrong way. How?
Voila!
Even my TV screen's been replaced, so it's not a broken one anymore.
So you can now actually see what's cracking.
And actually, just I'm in the studio here, and most of the guitars that I used to shoot that part 2 video of my guitar collection are still here. So if anyone wants to ask any questions. Anyway, Pete, how's your week been? Have you got any plans for the weekend?
I have not got any plans for the weekend. Other than...
I thought we'd go to the beach, have a barbecue. Maybe
I've got friends coming over for barbecue. And then, we're going to the beach and actually, and we're going out shopping.
Yeah, go to see a football match.
Yeah.
It's going to be...
Yeah, it's going to be... No. Nothing like that.
Have you had a good week, though?
If I've had a good week? Yeah, it's a bit weird at the moment, isn't it? Because what day is it? Do you know what I mean? What day is it? I thought it was like Wednesday today, but it's obviously Friday.
Well, it is Friday. Yeah. So here we go.
How about you?
So I've had a mixed week this week. So I've done I've been at work a little bit, and I've homeschooled my 6-year-old for a couple of days this week. It's just. I'm with you. I couldn't tell you what day it is. Yeah. I just know it's been sunny for the longest amount of time it's ever been sunny. It's amazing. April before.
Yeah.
Is there a conspiracy theory there, Pete? Do we think it's because there's no planes in the sky spouting vapor, mind-controlling vapor?
Don't even go there because it could be one of those things, couldn't it? Where, I think the planet is just having a nice breather at the moment. Not many cars.
Is it like someone that's gone from smoking 100 fags a day and they're just down to like 30 fags a day and their lungs are going,
like, oh my God,
too bad, is it? I mean, admittedly, it'd be better if you could give up altogether, but hey, right.
Well, that's, at least the petrol is quite cheap at the moment.
Yeah, I'm getting about 4 weeks to the gallon at the moment. It's going amazing.
4 weeks to the gallon. I love that.
Although actually my car is hybrid, so I actually haven't put any petrol in my car.
So you charge it up
6
overnight
months.
for about 12 hours and you get 2 miles out of it. Is that how it works, isn't it?
Okay, so look, we've got some pre-prepared questions that you guys have sent in via Facebook, YouTube, or whatever method of social mediaing you do. And then I'll jump over to the live feed. So, Pete...
Yes, darling.
I think just purely and simply because... Oh, it's a question to me. That's no good. But he's got such a great name. I'm taking it anyway. Spork Noggin.
Spork Noggin.
Is that Danish or just made up?
I think Spork Noggin. Is that not a fork and a spoon in one? Do you know what I mean? Like Forky from...
Sounds like something that would be in the Moomins.
No, yeah, but Forky.
Here comes Spork Noggin over the hill. And his question is, I enjoyed seeing the Captain's collection. If he could only keep one of those guitars, which one would it be?
It's a good question.
Well, I actually said that at the end of the collection video.
Oh, so he obviously didn't watch
so
the
you
whole
didn't
thing.
watch it, really, did you, spork noggin? I basically concluded at the end of part 2 that the 2 guitars I would run back into a burning house to get were the sentimental ones. So that was my dad's first acoustic and my white Strat with the blue man on it.
So you leave the kits in there?
Yes.
Of course, and then get the guitars, and then...
Yes, absolutely. But the one that I think puts the smile on my face, the biggest smile on my face every time I play it, is my Les Paul. So Pete, same question to you.
My purple
Spork
Telecaster.
Noggin.
Purple Telecaster, any day of the week.
Really? So over and above any sentimental ones?
That is the most sentimental one,
I suppose.
I think because that was the way that whole thing came about was just, it was meant to be, you know. I mean, it'll be, I do need to do my collection as well, but I thought I was just going to let your one kind of, die down a bit. And then maybe I could do mine. But if I had to run in and out and get all the guitars I really love in my house, it would take forever.
I can see one there's the blue American Strat, which is now sporting a very nice tortoiseshell scratch plate and some new Monty's pickups.
Yeah.
I can see the white 64 from where I'm sitting. I can see the Cutlass. Was that Cutlass?
Yeah, it's
green
beautiful.
Cutlass. I can see.
You can see this.
The Paloma.
The Paloma.
Oh, the Hanson.
The Hanson.
Mbop.
I mean, and this and here, you can see that.
Crazy drunk Michael from Hanson emailed me earlier on to say there's another delivery of 2 guitars, just left them today. So they should be here next week. Right, I like this question. This is from Clarence Prigent. Depends. Clarence Prigent. I don't know if you're French or not, but he says, if you were unable to play music for the rest of your life, Pete, what career would you opt for?
Something with cars, something with vintage
I was
cars.
literally going to say you'd be an Asda delivery driver, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I've been a postman. I've worked in kindergarten, worked at a warehouse. I've done so many things to just feed my musical habit, just going out and gigging. I don't really mind, man. As long as I can pay my rent and feed my kids, then. But I would probably do something with vintage cars. I love cars. I love cars.
I like it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
How about you?
I'd be a professional wrestler in WWE. Always wanted to do that.
You get smashed up so quick, man. Incredibly quick.
I can't do anything else. I've literally done, my entire life has been dedicated to this family business. I'd be useless for anything else.
Here we got Jeff Hersberger is asking, hey Pete, how does the lick sound on that beautiful Espada? Let's find out. Sounds good. That lick sounds good on any guitar.
It's a great lick to play on any guitar. If you had to send, I'm gonna rattle through these sort of done questions and then go over to the live ones, but because I like some of these. So if you had to send one guitar player out to represent planet Earth in an intergalactic guitar battle to save humanity, who would you send?
I saw that.
That's from Mike99. Does he have to be alive, or can it? I think it just has to be any guitar player ever.
Who can play one note and just everybody goes?
Are we looking?
I'll be looking Jimmy. Or
it's a guitar battle. I think if we were going for intergalactic guitar piece, we'd send B.B. King out, or someone like that.
Yeah.
But it's a battle.
No, Prince.
We need to.
You get Prince out there.
He is a. I think he's out there already. I think that's where he came from. I think Prince actually came to planet Earth as part of an intergalactic guitar battle.
Yeah. Have you watched the one where they are playing? It's Tom Petty's.
Yes.
Something gathering, and he just keeps
lunatic.
playing that solo again, and then everybody goes out and he just throws his guitar and walks off. Like.
So you'd go Prince, would you?
What a ledge.
I'd go Jimmy.
Jimmy. Oh, there's so many. Jimmy. There's all the Kings. I tell you, we could send Chuck Berry out because I know he liked to do that.
He loved a good intergalactic guitar battle. He certainly did, especially in the bath.
Yeah. He would put cameras up everywhere and make sure he knows what he's
battle
doing.
out of everything, wouldn't he?
Dwayne Allman. Yeah.
Hang on. Right.
David Gilmour. Albert King.
Gilmour be a good shout.
Segovia. Steve Vai. Larry Carlton.
I'm sorry, Martin. I'm avoiding the Desert Island guitar rig thing. We've probably answered that loads.
Paul Gilbert. There's so many great people.
Okay, last one then from here is what is the one thing that you recommend every beginner to add to their practice routine? It's a serious question.
Just completely quiet. For a band. I know at the moment it's not the easiest thing to do.
1,000,000%.
But actually we figured out there's a program called
Jam Kazam.
Jam Kazam, which my Rod, the legend, my father-in-law,
and it
is
works,
usually
does it?
sitting at home. Yeah. So what you do is you download this program called Jam Kazam, and it's been around for 10 years.
If you told me you're going to say that, I'd have charged them $500 just to mention it in this
I know.
live stream.
I know. But basically, it is without late. If you got a quick internet connection and a nice interface, microphone, whatever, you plug straight in there. Ethernet, of course, helps into your computer, so it's more stable. But you can literally have a jam with your whole band.
How does it work? I mean, surely I can't hear you. There must be some time
headphones.
delay on what you're...
But apparently there isn't. I don't know how it works. I'm not going to...
We don't sell it. We don't endorse it. We've not been paid to say good things about it. So
it was literally only because he's got some long... So he's at home.
He's got some long what?
He's got some problems from...
Oh, lung.
Lung
I
problems.
He said he's got a long... And I wonder,
well,
this
probably.
is bad. I didn't realise that he was...
But because he might be
move on.
watching now. But so he's at home and he's isolated, and he's got a band he plays with, and they just that thing was just they're doing it. It's great.
Well, that's good. We'll have to check that out. I like the idea of being able to jam on the Tinterweb.
Yeah, but get yourself a band. That's such an important thing as anyone. I mean, practice routines is just get yourself a metronome and play. You know, all that stuff, but find yourself a band and learn how to play with a band, because that's so inspiring.
Right. I'm delving now into the questions from the live stream. In no particular order, anybody who donates any money today will have their name shouted out, their question asked, provided it's not rude, and we'll donate all the money to an NHS charity.
Yeah.
So, what's the next shout-outy one?
Gaming DC, thank you. Thoughts on modern blues artists like Marcus King and Kingfish? Two amazing, both of them. Marcus King.
Is it Jam in the Van? Jam?
Yeah, Jam in the Van, yeah.
Jam in the Van.
Yeah.
He does a set in the Jam in the Van thing, and he's singing, isn't he? But a beautiful voice, beautiful
and playing
feel and tone.
amazing. Yeah. Great.
I still want Philip Sace to get more recognition.
Ah.
You know, he's not super young anymore.
Philip Sace, man.
He's got the best bend of everyone, I think. Hasn't he got the best bend?
He's just an amazing player.
Anyway. Right. Lane O'Brien, thank you for your donation. Hello, Lee and the Captain. I am Lee and the Captain. But anyway, maybe that's what you meant.
Yeah.
Do you have a pedal you happen to use in your boards or setup more than any others? You probably get this question a lot. Well, I do, and it's a bit embarrassing as to which one that is, because the pedal that's on both my boards is the Thorpe Dane, which is obviously Pete's signature pedal, and he insists that I use it. It's part of his contract that's working here. And the other pedals on my new board, where I think the distortion pedals that I've got on there are definitely, I like them more than what was on the old board. The new board, that's hard, isn't it? Because the plimsolls on the old board. But on the new board, Lightspeed by Greer is fabulous. The Nobles ODR Mini is fabulous. Yeah. And the Snake Oil Very thing as a relatively low gain boost thing, but with boosting just the right kind of mid-hump frequency for lead guitar solos. They would be four really great pedals. How about you? Why don't you ask the same question, Pete? It's the same answer, presumably.
Yeah. I mean, Dane, Lightspeed, Nobles is great. I mean, the Gunshot I've been using recently, which is a great sort of Marshall overdrive from Thorpe. you know, never really got into the tube screamer, but once in a while when I do use one, it does get me, you know. Got the KTR, the Klon, it's great. But then, if you want, that's 45 quid.
I know. Well, actually, I might as well.
Insane.
So this is my clean tone. Light speed, bridge, I guess. No, neck pickup.
Yes, there's the lick.
So it's a low gain pedal. The Nobles is a little bit meatier. And the Dane is probably halfway in between, but the Dane's also got a boost thing, so it's like two pedals in one. And you'll see, if I take, say, the Dane, and then I layer the very thing over the top, you go from this nice rhythm sound, and then you... I know you can't see my feet, but hopefully that came through.
It did. I think there's a lot of questions up there. Can you see all of those? Because I think I'm missing it.
Right,
there.
so Rufus made a very generous donation and also said he bought a Thorpe camouflage.
Yes.
Camouflange, sorry, and loves it. And then we've just had some lovely donations from Theo Moll and Julian Davies. Here we go. Alexandra Bilodeau. Alexandra Bilodeau.
Great name.
It's a beautiful name.
You do a great accent.
Actually, that's Canadian dollars. He's Canadian. Might not be French.
Well,
could be a bit French.
French-Canadian. Could be in Montreal. Or...
He's got a Friedman runt, and he loves the British sound, but there's a fizzle in the top end that I'm not a fan of. And I'll tell you what that is. It's because you've got too much gain. That's the problem.
Sorry, what did he say?
Yeah. Basically, if you buy a high gain amplifier like anything, Friedman Runt, 5150, modern Marshalls, whatever, and you think, oh, I just want maximum gain, and the preamp goes up to like 9 o'clock or, no, what am I talking about, 3 o'clock or more. It's often very fizzy, and what you need to do to remove the fizz is to get the preamp volume down, the master volume up a little bit, and definitely there are pedals that you can use. They don't take the fizz away, but they can give you the distortion without the fizz in the first place. Pedals naturally have a sort of I think a softer clipping. A lot of pedals have like a softer clipping than a valve amp clipping. But hopefully that helps. Great amp though, Friedman Runt. Absolutely great.
You're completely right, but just turning down, you know, you go to gain and then you just turn it back 2 notches or something. You know what I mean? Or 3. Because you'll probably get the same gain, but without all the fizz.
I remember doing a video years ago of an Angus Young kind of sounds like Angus Young thing. And we had a Marshall DSL or something like that. And in my head, Angus Young plays with quite a gainy sound, you know, and yet to sound like Angus Young, we had the gain on the Marshall on literally the smallest it would be to make a noise, and then some power amp. And when we just played aggressively, it sounded great. So
what is that, £25 there? What?
Sergeant Rock Pete says, if you could replace any guitarist in any band for 1 gig.
Oh man, I don't know. There's so many great bands out there. I would love to try to do a Bruno Mars gig.
Oh, you mean you'd be... Oh, I see.
Oh, yeah.
I don't... Maybe that's not the question. Let me just see.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think you've probably understood it correctly. So if you personally could replace any guitar player in a band...
I mean, you know, you could do... you get the John Mayer gig, do that maybe, but the Bruno Mars gig would just be insane.
Gig.
Because it's such a good gig. You know, what do you think? I mean... That's such a funky gig.
I think I'd want to be in his band rather than if you're just going to do one gig.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just do Live Aid or with one of the bands or?
What you mean, like a stadium gig?
What you mean, like the stadium gigs you've done loads of? Come on, then tell us the story.
No.
About
no. I'm not going. But I'm just
90,000 people.
You know, it's not.
Stadium.
No, but if it's
or Croke Park where there was nearly 100,000 people. I'm only jealous.
Somebody's asking me to sing a Danish song. Who was that?
Or Aqua. I'm a Barbie
No,
girl.
like probably a hip hurra, det er min fødselsdag, det kommer. Jeg kan ikke huske mere.
Wicked.
Jeg kan ikke huske mere. Jeg har glemt alle danske sange.
Do you know,
det er mig, der
do
står
you know all the
herude og
t-shirts
banker
that
på.
all the t-shirts that Andertons sell
Yeah.
are by a Danish company called TJ's.
I know.
I checked out like about 100 different t-shirt manufacturers before I went. They're the best, absolutely the best ones. And then I was talking to them the other day, and it turned out that the lady who runs it, or one of the people there who run it, her boyfriend was just like, oh yeah, my boyfriend watches Andertons all the time, and he said, is Danish Pete really actually from Denmark? And it's like, well, yes, obviously.
He just likes to eat Danish.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I'm falling deeply behind here, but Mitch Gibson has said Tokai/Greco or Epiphone for a budget buy. Do you know much about any of those, Pete Ski?
Greco, or what was the other one you said?
Tokai or
Tokai.
Epiphone.
Well, we don't really have any of the Greco or the Tokai, do we? So I know Epiphone at the moment is killing them. So
is Greco even a thing?
Not anymore.
I know Tokai. From my recollection, Tokai came into
in the 80s. It was great.
Yeah.
Man.
And what was happening? Absolutely, Fender and Gibson had that terrible kind of 70s and 80s period. Arguably in the 80s, early 80s, was still in that dodgy period. And Tokai were one of the brands that came out and made some very close copies that were way better value anyway. And they launched from there, but I've got a funny feeling that Tokai's been bought and sold about 10 times over the last 20 years, and the factories change all the time. So I couldn't even tell you where they're made anymore or whether they're great now. They certainly have been at various points in the past. But the new Epiphone stuff for 2020 is the best stuff we've ever done with Epiphone.
It's really, really good. I can wholeheartedly recommend
Wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly. What do we got here? Somebody here has bought a Winsky 19 has bought a beautiful telly off eBay that smells a bit musty, like a cellar. How do you recommend cleaning it? Maple, neck, nitrile, lacquer, keep. I would put it outside.
If it smells musty, it's because it's damp. And it's not really a cleaner as such that you use for that.
It needs to go in the sunshine.
Yeah, that'll just have to go away over time.
Yeah, maybe just use some cleaning products. You can buy loads of stuff. Ernie Ball does some, Dunlop does some. Great, just cleaning products. Give it a bit of a clean.
Yeah, we in Andertons in the video room we use the Jim Dunlop cleaning kits. And we also have some rather good fretboard conditioner from Monty's. That's jolly good, isn't it?
Yeah, but not for Maple. Well, actually, that works for everything. It works for your hair.
It's just not. You can't put it on a lacquered. Anything that's properly sealed on the fretboard, you can't. Nicholas Hammonds, no, I'm afraid we are no closer to getting John Mayer on the show.
Damp cloth.
And you're right.
Damp cloth.
Oh wow! I've just seen the donation from that Vinsky. That's
it's
crazy.
Amazing.
It's very generous.
Thank
you very much.
Actually, maybe just a soapy damp cloth. Just a little bit, and then rinse it off.
Didn't she have a big hit about 10 years ago with something like Death on the Dance Floor? What was it called? Soapy?
Oh, Soapy Damp Cloth.
Soapy Damp Cloth. What was that song called? Come on, you know what I'm talking about.
Murder on the Dance Floor.
Murder on the Dance Floor by Soapy Damp Cloth. Yeah. She was great.
God.
She is one of my favourites.
Yeah. Danish.
But some other cool ones. Theo, thanks for your donation. David Still, thank you. Can we make a video on Bugera? We don't stock Bugera, and that's a bit of a throwback to Bugera. That's tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow.
Bugera.
Is that tomorrow or has that already been on? I can't remember.
What was that?
Who remembers the Bugera? But only for me and my dog.
I
What
don't know if
video
that's
is that
tomorrow
going
next
in?
week.
Next week.
The Mustang.
Next week. So Bugera is an amp brand. I think they do a mix of solid state and valve amps. They certainly do valve amps. That is it's Behringer's brand for amps. And certainly going back, I don't know, the last time I looked at them 6 or 7 years ago, we were having so many reliability issues with Behringer products in general. I just thought the last thing I want to do is throw into the mix a valve amplifier. Not the most reliable product in the best of times. So I've just never revisited, but hey, I'm open-minded. Maybe the range is different now.
Kira Ora ad. There you go.
Pete,
Purple.
one for you. What is the neck profile on that G&L from Ty Roberts?
I'd say slim, but large.
Slim but large?
Yeah, it's
like Greg Koch.
Yeah.
He's lost a lot. He is slim now,
but large. It's just a really comfortable neck shape. I mean, you've played it, Lee. It's not fat and it's not skinny.
It's
but
lacquered on the back, right?
Yeah, right in the middle there.
So it's got a vintagey kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's a vintage kind of vibe to it. It's just really comfortable.
Yeah.
And it feels beautiful to play. So
if I remember rightly, I think it was a smidgen fatter than you'd get on perhaps a modern Strat.
Not very much.
Not much, wee bit.
Just a wee
and
bit
lacquered.
fatter.
So it gives it a different kind of feel.
Nitro. Ooh.
Yeah, very comfy.
It's beautiful.
It's a nice.
thing.
I actually like the headstock without any writing on it. I just like the G&L.
Yeah, that's what they
looks
do
smart.
with the custom shop ones. And that neck is this headstock. I really love this. This is great headstock.
It's a great looking guitar.
Yeah, it's a great looking shape, isn't
Do you want to tell the story of Espada? Like for people, I mean, hands up on the internet. Who does? Does anybody know?
Espada.
Oh, we're doing a different one now.
Are we?
I don't know.
Oh.
So tell the story, Pete, about what was the Espada? Where did that originate from?
Well, if you haven't watched it, you should go and watch the video where Lee and I go to the G&L factory when we were in NAMM. When was that? 2 years ago now?
In 2019.
Yeah, when we could actually go places. And they found, because they got Leo Fender's office there, right? With all his stuff, and they haven't touched it. So they got all of his paperwork, and they got all his old archives and like bodies and pickups and everything he's been working on. It's just there. And I was following them on, they've got G&L on Instagram, and they got the G&L custom shop, and they found all of these bits and pieces, and they were trying to put them together. But they found the blueprints, right, of this guitar in one of his drawers. Is that what it was? And
then it was more because it was the blue. So Leo Fender originally came up with the outline for this guitar and a rough idea of what the pickups would be.
Yeah.
Whilst he was at Fender, wasn't that?
Yeah, there was the last.
So the schematics were from the mid to late '60s.
Yeah, they commissioned him to do another kind of guitar for them, Fender.
Yeah.
But it never.
So he must. So even though they found them in his office at G&L, he must have taken them with him when he went from G&L.
So the shape was, because he worked on, he worked on different things, and
but I think that was his idea for how the Telecaster should evolve.
Yeah.
But obviously Fender didn't go with it.
They just
stayed the same. Rightly so. Telecaster is very cool. But so G&L discovered these drawings last year.
Yeah.
And
found all these old bits he had made. So even they down to this battery, they found all of that bit he's been working on for a long time, and put it all together. Found a neck and some other bits and pieces, and then got it to work with this whole.
I'm going to have to rush through here, Pete.
Sorry.
Questions are disappearing. Somebody asked a question, and I was going to read it out, but now it's disappeared.
Oh, no.
And they donated some money.
Can you not see them? Can you not
I don't know
back?
how to do that. I'm trying to remember what the question... Oh, the question was, if you could play anything other than the guitar, what would it be? Quick answer, because the next question
Trombone.
Disappear. Trombone. Purple clarinet. So... are we going to review a Nita Strauss guitar anytime soon? There's no plans to, but we're not avoiding it. We just hadn't really come up, but we might do. We need Nita back if we're going to go and review her guitar. So again, once this is all over.
Yeah.
Wodezo's Guitar Mods. Wow, that's a big donation. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's very kind. What does input gain... hello, Captain Pete. What does input gain 2 master knobs on Marshall Jubilee amps do? From Abhisheka Waninayaki. I've almost definitely pronounced that wrong.
Yeah.
What does input gain 2 do? There's normally
there's
normally one input gain 2's got a little bit hotter and a little bit brighter than input gain 1.
Yeah.
That's what older Marshall amps did.
Can you
jump them across with a you can normally put a little patch cable to link channel 1 to channel 2.
Yeah.
So just more bit more distortion for like
bit more
lead guitar
brightness.
solos. Thoughts on Synergy amps and the swappable modules from Jeff.
We haven't really had
I've
the
ordered
chance
them.
to. You have? Well, there you go then. Let's see what happens.
And I don't think we ever announced this, but now that it's been completely cancelled, I can absolutely announce it. We had Steve Vai booked for another clinic here in June, which obviously is now cancelled. But prior to doing that, we thought, well, I'd looked at that Synergy stuff. And I remember, so the guy that came up with that concept is a guy called Bruce Egnater, who you might be familiar with through Egnater amps.
Yeah.
And he came up with that like 20 years ago, the concept of modules that go in, different sounding modules that go in and out of sort of preamp boards. And then he did, Randall licensed that design and they did a bit with it. And I'll be honest with you, it never took off, but Synergy have done it now. So it's the same, Bruce Egnater's still involved.
Yeah.
And I think they've just kind of, time will tell whether it's going to be popular or not, but they've certainly got it to the point now where they're doing proper licensing deal with the amp brands that they want to make the modules of. So you're getting like proper licensed Bogner modules and Friedman modules and I think Diesel modules and all that kind of stuff. The price is a bit more sensible than it was, but it's still fairly expensive. But anyway, and Steve Vai, the Steve Vai connection is when he left Carvin, or when Carvin went bust and stopped making amps, that was who he decided he would do his next amp with Synergy. So all the Steve Vai modules look cool. So there, stay tuned. We'll review those soon. What was your first guitar, Pete? From a Danish person, Toki Peterson.
Toki Peterson. Hohner ST Professional. Professional ST Special, which I bought one of recently.
Isn't
on
that
eBay.
here somewhere?
Yeah, it's upstairs. But it's not. That was not my one. But I bought
you just
one.
bought another one.
I bought one off eBay, and it wasn't great. But it was like 80 quid. But
Shall I go and find it? Who wants to see that?
It's next door in the office next door. And then at the same, somebody's saying they bought a DP40. Thank you very much for that. What's my
Hold the fort, Pete.
Settings? That would be I just basically run everything at 12 o'clock and mid boost down and on the preset 2 or version down. That's how I kind of run it most of the time. Everything at 12. If it sounds good at 12, why? But you should try to play it and see what comes up, and that's how I use it with my pedals and everything. Any chance you can ask thank you very much, insert name for your donation. Any chance you can ask the Sound Like guys to do a Devin Townsend episode? Well, sure, I can certainly ask them when they come back, which I don't know when will be, but could be soon. And would so guitar mods, thank you very much, that's very generous of you as well. No question, so bedste trådløse guitarsystem.
Can you see me, Pete? Am I back in the room?
I can see you, yeah.
Does anybody want to hear?
I don't know if it's I did sort of restring it and I'm not sure if it even works because I got it and then.
So what's the story?
You know what it looks like? It looks like the headstock looks like a Sir headstock. Do I dare say that? Doesn't it? Well, the story on that was that when I think my dad wanted to buy me an electric guitar, and when we went to the shop, there was that hanging, and then there was an Eddie Van Halen, with the red with the white things on it, and I was like, that's a bit too much for me, so I got that, and I had it for ages.
Here we go.
It's a nice guitar. Yeah, I told you it might not work. There you go.
It's the magic lick. It's got the lowest action ever.
It
Probably needs some work on this.
It needs to set up, yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Does the dust come free with it?
Yeah.
I'm going to write, what would a Dane do? I know what a Dane would draw in this dust. I'm going to start drawing it and then stop drawing it like that.
Oh my God.
Do you want to see, who wants to see the guitar that I had made? This is a live, exclusive, never been seen before. Who wants to see the guitar that I had made for when John Mayer was supposed to be coming over to Andertons last year and never actually turned up.
Are you gonna?
You want to see that?
Yeah.
You want to see that?
We need to give that to him, don't we?
Wait, you want to see this, everybody? I can't hear you.
Yay!
So John Mayer genuinely was like hours away from coming to Andertons and then got ill. So he says. Is that cool? I'm going even closer. This was the PRS Super Sky Super Mayer, which actually you can buy this guitar from the Andertons website just without the graphics all over it. So yeah, John, when you do eventually come to Andertons, I'll keep this somewhere special for you. It's a real. Oh yes, perfect. It just sounds just like him. More questions?
Yeah, I think there's more questions. I missed some of them.
I'm so sorry if you've donated and we've missed your question. And to be honest with you, I'm super sorry if we're not answering your questions where you haven't donated. Do you want Danish beer or British beer, Pete?
Danish beer.
Any beer at the moment.
Danish beer for sure.
Lane O'Brien asks about, have you ever replaced pickups in a guitar that were from a third party, and have you had good or bad experiences with them? Pete?
Yeah, absolutely.
You talk about your Monty's thing, because you're doing that.
Because, you know, I had my Telecaster, and then I've done a few sort of modifications to Strats over the years. If you've been playing and there's a lot of lights on, and I've had put some staggered single coil, but like humbuckers, hum cancelling. But the Monty's DP51T Telecaster set is basically Monty's copied the pickups that's in my purple Telecaster, because people were asking what they were, and I was like, they were something. They were supposed to be a no-cast and a twisted telly, but they took them out and were like, but it's not. So we decided to make that set. So yeah, and now I've got them in my telly now, and it sounds great. It sounds wicked. And now we're working on some single coils for Stradicasters.
I can see them.
Yeah.
They're just not official yet, are they?
They're not official. So there's a couple of sets to try. We're back and forth. That's going to be really interesting, because I used to play Strats all the time. It used to be my thing. So let's see if I get back into that.
Yeah. I must admit, I'm not a big tinkerer.
No.
I'm sort of, I typically won't buy a guitar unless I really like how it sounds. And then if I really like how it sounds, I don't want to change the pickups in it. That said, my old Strat with the Blue Man on it, which, hey, I also have here, and might just be able to reach without having to disconnect myself.
And while you do that, Declan McCollin, thank you very much. If not a budget Squire, any hints on what price bracket the new Danish Pete guitar will be in? Lee?
No hint. You'll have to wait and see.
You have to wait and see, but it's not expensive.
I can't remember when they're coming. Are they coming in the summer or is it in the autumn?
I think they were coming soon.
Soon.
Some of them were.
So
it's interesting anyway.
So this guitar never had any pickups in it when I got it. It was a parts caster.
No pickups at all.
So I had to buy some pickups for it. But it was routed for an HSH thing, which is why it has HSH in it. And I got this when I was, don't know, 18, 20 years old, something like that. It was the first good guitar I ever owned. And I got a Seymour Duncan brochure, because at the time, really, certainly Seymour Duncan, DiMarzio, and maybe EMG were the only real aftermarket pickups you could buy. Anyway, read the first page of the Seymour Duncan catalogue was an introduction from Seymour Duncan himself, and he talks about how why he started making pickups, and then he said, and in my guitar I use a Jazz in the neck, a JB in the bridge, and I can't remember which single coil in the middle, but whichever. And I just thought, that's it, it's good enough for me. I don't need to read any more. That's what the guy who owns the company uses. That's what I'm going to have. And honestly, I think I could put this set of pickups in any Strat style guitar, and I think I'd like the sound. It's a great.
Play the lick, Lee. Play the lick.
Can you hear it? It's like made for that lick, wasn't it? But the jazz is weird, isn't it? Because who would buy a pickup called a jazz if you didn't play jazz? You need to get past that because it's just such a wonderful low output, creamy sounding humbucker. And then the JB, which creamy. I think when that first came out, people went, oh, JB, it's Jeff Beck. And it's not. But I think Seymour Duncan quite craftily just went, well, if that's what people want to assume, then no harm done. But the JB stands for, oh, come on, Anderton. I want to say something like...
Don't look at me. You're looking at me for that. JB.
Something like jazzy blues or...
Yeah, jazz blues, isn't it?
Jazz blues or something like that, isn't it? Maybe not even jazz blues. I'm annoyed with myself now because I normally know the answer to that, but I'm having a bit of a senile moment.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
But yeah, and this was the JB was in all the 80s. All those 80s kind of rock guitars had JBs in the bridge. So,
Jazz bridge.
Jazz bridge. No, I don't think it's jazz bridge.
Pete got excited at creamy.
Jazz hands. Pete, what's the cheapest guitar you've ever played live, or did you answer that one?
No, I didn't answer that one.
Sorry.
Depending on when it was. I mean, earliest that was the first gig I ever did was on that Hohner guitar, the first live gig. That's how I used that. Well, I used a Martin GPCP, one of they're like 600 quid or something. That's what I used for most of the acoustic stuff I toured on the last tour.
Speaking of cheap things that you use live, tell us the pod story, because I kind of, I mean that for me does not sound like a pro piece of kit, but tell us the pod story.
So the pod story goes that I had a Rix. I was gonna do a tour with Il Divo, which is this pop rock band, and I actually turned the tour down first. I turned a tour down first because I didn't know if it was my kind of thing. And then they asked me again. I was like, okay, I'll do it because it was like a world tour. So it was going to be fun. But I had to play nylon string guitar, whatever. So we rehearsed in Kuala Lumpur for like 3 weeks first, and then did the first gig there. And I had my Lone Star and a pedal board, with some stuff on it. And then I also had, just for backup, I had a Line 6 pod. What's it called? The one with the silver knobs on it?
Yeah, not even a good one.
It's the one before the HD, floor pod or something.
Floor pod.
Yeah, it had a pedal. And I think I used it a bit, I used the gear a bit, and it just didn't really work. And then we just hooked up, because we were using in-ears, and there was no monitors in stage, and the amp was like out the back. And I ended up using that pod on the whole tour. I mean, I got a second one for for a backup, but I never used it. It was just in the box.
I mean, people talk about, those moments like, Queen at Live Aid, Beatles in, was it Yankee Stadium, all of that. But for me, it was always El Divo in the Bournemouth Pavilion in 2000.
Honestly, man,
it must have done
120 gigs. I don't know, something like that. Must have done with that, and it sounded great. It worked really well in the mix, and with the whole band.
Well, honestly, guys,
you can check it out. There is some stuff on YouTube somewhere.
Tune in tomorrow on Andertons TV because I have an epiphany tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow or Sunday, but we've got some Line 6 Pod Pro X's to clear, and
an epiphany,
and the self-isolation video that I just thought, I'm just going to plug it in, and then I even thought I thought I'm not going to tell anyone the spec because it's boring. I'm not going to try and reprogram any sounds, nothing. I'm just going to take this guitar and I'm just going to plug it in. I'm just going to play I'm just going to go through the presets and see what I like. And honestly and truthfully, it's a 15-minute long video, so easy to watch. And by the end of it, I'm just like, I had this really weird epiphany where I just went, you know what? If you want to buy if you want to sound like a Fender Deluxe, then absolutely go and buy a Fender Deluxe. But if you're using a Line 6 pod and you just approach it for what it is, and you play to the gear. This has always been Pete's thing. It's like play. What do you say? You don't say play to the gear. What do you say? Play for the gear, or what's the?
I mean, you need to adapt to how the gear is, so you can get anything to sound.
Yeah, and you just all of a sudden you stop going. Oh, it doesn't sound like a Fender Deluxe like that. But you play to the gear, for the gear, whatever. And honestly and truthfully, by the end of the demo, I'm just like, man, I can't believe I've been such an arse about this kind of gear for so long. It's like if you just accept it for what it is, it's amazing for the money.
Yeah.
But hey.
I mean, I used to use the red pod. I did a short tour in America with a Danish DJ Encore and Angelina. It's just like a DJ, and I was playing guitar, and I used the pod, right, the red pod, and then I had the floorboard, and it was just clicked in, and I put it all on a piece of wood, and that's what I had with me. What
was the name of that band again?
DJ Encore.
Can we find
featuring Angelina?
Can we find some footage of that anywhere on the internet?
No, there will probably not be any footage. But they did write. Andreas wrote the Big Brother song for the first Big Brother in Denmark.
So
I see right through you or something.
Oh, so he did well. Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, they're lovely guys. Amazing.
Steely Sam from the USA has said, "Hola, big fan of you guys. Thank you. I'm watching from Texas."
Texas, great.
We have to go to I got to go to Texas one day.
You have to come to Austin, and
yes,
I've been there. It's great. Texas is great, man.
I want to go to Dallas to buy some cowboy boots or something. And open an oil refinery or whatever they do.
Well, don't buy that right now. That's there's
not.
no money in that.
I'll get given a free one probably.
Yeah. For his glory, hey Pete and Captain, what is your best 3 guitars of all times and why? Thank you for your 100 Danish kroners. Tusind mange tak.
Glad you pronounced that name. This is the best 3 guitars we own, or the best 3 guitars we've ever played?
There must be this. What do we think are the best 3 guitars of all time? Strat, Tele, Les Paul. I don't know.
At the end of the guitar collection video that just came out this week, I said it's you get to choose one nice Fender, one nice Gibson, and a Martin Dreadnought, and that should be the best 3 guitars.
Tele, Les Paul, and a OM28.
What are you guys most interested in seeing shooted out? That's not even a word.
Shot out.
Shot out. I was thinking like, you know, is there an angle of doing some slightly more like Tele versus Les Paul, or I don't know. I've dried up. Help me. Pete's playing. I just lost myself in that beautiful.
Well, we can. Yeah, that's. I mean, we've tried to do some like rosewood versus maple, or we talked about that. But is that anything that you would be interested in seeing, like, or even as you say, Strat versus a Les Paul, or a Les Paul versus a 335, whatever. I mean, shootouts are 335.
Whatever. Shoot
Chappers
out.
is coming
is that
back.
Bad? But yes. So I get it. Everybody wants to know where Chappers is. It's been months now, and he took a break at the beginning of the year. He was booked back in March for videos. Everything was back to normal, and then of course this whole Corona doodah happened, and because Rob's family or his wife is Maltese, they decided that she wanted to be nearer her parents and all that kind of stuff. So just before the whole lockdown thing, they decided to go and live in Malta for a bit.
Yeah.
But yes, he'll be back soon. We speak almost every day.
Certainly.
Pete and Lee, if you met the devil at the crossroads and he offered you to become the greatest guitar player ever, but you had to wear a mullet for the rest of your lives, would you make the trade?
Can I just show you?
Have you got? Yeah. What's the closest you've ever come to a mullet?
No, but it was that was a thing when I did my first tour here. I think I must have had like down to here.
Wow.
And if you this is funny. If you type in Atomic Kitten, probably Pete, I don't know, whatever, solo Wembley, and check out the bass player who plays a guitar. Check out his mullet. That is majestic mollification right there.
Even some of the most fearless surfers in the world at the moment are looking at your hair getting scared.
My hair?
There's an enormous wave on the top of your hair, and they're looking at it just going,
I'm gonna get on that thing.
I would not risk that. Where? Oh, look at they're just coming so quickly, these questions.
Yeah, it's just like
you. Typical. Is this enough? I have a series idea. Maybe you could do Les Paul versus Telly versus 335 versus Strat in different musical settings. And then he goes on to say blues, rock, funk, etc. Why don't you take us through that, Pete? Is there one guitar that lends itself stylistically to more genres than another?
Probably a Strat. I mean, I would think I can. Strat is a pretty all-rounder. If you get a Strat with a humbug in the back, I mean, you're not going to go quite wrong with that. But then again, a Telecaster on the front, if you got a proper nice neck pickup on that thing, it'll be as funky as you like, you know, and it'll have a thick, fat distortion sound, and the back with the tone rolled off a little bit with a soaring lead.
Soaring lead. He's my Dungeons and Dragons character. Level 6 paladin.
Soaring lead. That's brilliant. Soaring is actually a Danish name.
I think you're right. Strat. I mean, it's like that's it. It's got 5 different settings.
Yeah.
It's got every. You know, it'll clean up. It'll do rock. Yeah, you're probably right. The Strat. It's probably why it's the most popular guitar in the world, I suspect.
Yeah.
Jimmy
James 64 is asking, what have you been learning in lockdown? Much love. Personally, I've learned a lot of maths and algebra with Haggerty Maths that my kids are doing homeschooling, and I've learned that I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. I play more guitar when I'm at work than when I'm forced to be at home. So it's been the worst period for me in terms of my guitar playing. So what have we been learning though?
I've learned this.
Us.
Actually, I've learned this kit. There's a kit.
Play the thing. Before we started going live, play the new lick you told me.
Yeah, so this is a young, he's 16, he's called Markus Præstegård. And he's got a Danish surname or something, but check him out on Instagram. He's just a phenomenal player. And he put this little thing up on Instagram, and it's like a Robin Ford lick, and he goes, what was it? I can't even remember it now. And it's like a turnaround in the blues, so he goes like, and then, hang on, I'll try again, see if I can get it this time. Something like that. It's a really difficult lick, but he just
or just play this over everything.
But this is. So it goes. It's something like that anyway, and he's like 16 and he absolutely nails it. Markus Præstegård, check him out, he's fantastic.
I love all these young, talented, good-looking guitar players out there. They don't make me feel sick at all.
Yeah, you are good looking.
Eric Clapton, yeah, 1 out of 3 is not bad, is it? No, well, I would love to meet Eric Clapton. There's another sponsored question coming. I'd love to meet him. He's one of my idols, but there's nothing on for that at the moment.
Yeah, Clapton.
Here's my question from Chris Betts. Would you both ever play an entire gig with a guitar for under £300? And if so, what would it be? Every day.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely
play every
Just
day.
play a Squire.
Yeah.
It's just a Squire and whatever. I mean, it doesn't.
For a gig, if what you're really thinking about is how do you sound and can I hear myself and all that kind of stuff, your amp and your pedals are way more important than the guitar.
If you got a good amp, I mean, you and Chabbas did a video on
Yeah.
cheap amp or expensive guitar or expensive amp and cheap guitar, was it? Yeah. Cheap guitar into the expensive amp wins every time. And you don't even need an expensive amp for that. If you get, something like a Katana 100, you're still winning. I could gig with that all day long. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think expensive guitars are, it's a lot about the feel. It's a lot about the personal connection that you have with the guitar. It's a lot about how you like the look of it, all that kind of stuff. But the basic tone that the audience is hearing and its ability to just be a tool, like a perfectly good tool. I mean, Squier Classic Vibe is a fantastic example of a £300 or £400 guitar.
Amazing.
That is a perfectly good tool.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is my Classic Vibe got a bit abused with different thickness strings and stuff like that going on it, and the neck didn't. I don't know if you ever look down a neck, but normally you'd see like a nice even kind of just slightly soft kind of curve in it like that, or maybe it's a little flatter, or maybe it goes the other kind of way and it needs a bit of tension. But what you don't want when you look down a neck is one that goes
Yeah.
And my Squier started to do that a little bit. So I don't know. Yeah. Maybe there is a sort of a more functional reason to go a bit more expensive. But yeah, I wouldn't assume that you need very expensive stuff just to gig. Duke. How would you say in Denmark if someone was JW? Yuki.
But that's not a Danish.
What if his surname is Laley? Ukulele. Anyway,
lady pedals.
Hello there. Is it okay for me to buy a Kemper? As a player who doesn't know exactly how to find different sounds, what I want to know is a Kemper easy to use? Are there easier options for me than the Kemper, but with Kemper quality? Well, Kemper's unique, as in they hold the patent for how they profile amps. So whether it's better than other stuff is
it's super easy to use because you can either just choose to just get the profiles in there, and it's got an editor now for your computer, but you just swap to the next amp, click, and it just sounds good. You don't need to do much to it. You don't need to go in and do, like on a Helix, for instance, where you have to set stuff up and get the amps in and load in an IR and all that stuff. You have to know a little bit about it to do that, or at least sit down and read the manual or watch some YouTube videos. Yep. Kemper is just easy peasy.
I mean, do you know what though? So you get a Kemper. The first thing the Kemper says to you is, right, if you want to update it, or you want to use the stuff on the cloud, get your USB stick, stick it in the back, register the thing, And I must admit, I'm bored already by that time. And I'm just like, where do I plug in? I just want an amp. So I wouldn't naturally be the guy that leans towards going down that room onto the internet, onto the Kemper user cloud thingy, find the one with the most star ratings on it, go, I'll try that one, boom, in it loads.
Thousands and thousands and thousands.
Or you can buy great sounding presets from people like Michael Britt and the Amp Factory.
Michael Britt is awesome. But yes, and I have a Kemper and I use it. Somebody was asking if I have one. Yeah, I have one. And I use it a lot. I mean, I use it for studio stuff and just, And again, as you said earlier, it's you even with the plugins. So I use the Apollo plugins, and I take the guitar amps. I'm in there, but you just seem to find something, and you play you play as to get it to what it needs to. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Teach us a lick, Pete. I know no one's asking for that, but I just think we're holding guitars. You're a great guitar player. Teach us a lick, and I'll be student.
Okay, let's go to C.
C?
So you go. So you go like see what's asleep.
What are you playing there?
And you bend that up.
So we're going 8th fret on the B string.
Yeah, exactly. 8th fret, 10th fret, and then you go on the E.
On the 8th.
Yeah, and then you go 11. And you just bend that up half. Yeah, and then you can go. So. No. Back to. Oh, you can go.
Are you using your? What are you Are you using your second finger to play that then, so that you? So your third finger's ready to go on the.
You should use 1, 3, 1, 4.
Oh, you want to put the pinky in play? Yeah, I'm going first and second and.
No. And then you go. You could go.
You like that lick, everybody?
There we go. Hang on.
Ooh.
And then you go like this.
Pete, I need you to read this out. I have to read this out in a. I've got to read this out in like a sexy voice from JJ stuff. It goes. It says, "What are your favorite guitars?" But then it goes, "Please say my name. Say my name."
What's my favorite guitar? What's your favorite guitars?
These ones, just ones with strings on.
Any. Telly's
electrics.
Just stuff. I mean, no, I love acoustic guitars. I want a D18 in my life. That will probably be my next guitar. A D18, man. A Martin D18. That's a guitar
18,
I don't
not
have.
a 28.
No. I probably wouldn't
You like
go,
the mahogany
I
spruce
don't
thing,
know.
do you?
It's just because I know I'll probably abuse it and it'll get some dings and dongs in it. And I'm going, that looks great when it's old and worn out. You know. When I did a gig in Germany and I met Brian Adams, he had a 1942 or 43 D18, and it was just glorious, and it looked absolutely amazing. So I would go D18.
Fair enough. I'm going to show you a lick. This is I stole this from Pete as well, who I'm sure in turn stole it from someone else. But
I steal all the time.
So we're going to play on the D string. No, not the D string, sorry, the G string. We're in A. So 5th fret, 7th fret, 5th fret on the B string. And this is the tricky bit. We're going to roll the finger back, so you're not going to change finger here, but back to the 5th fret on the G strings. And then come back down to the 7th on the D string. Yeah, and then go. But I love that.
Yeah,
that interval between the 5th on the B string and the G string.
And then mix it with this one.
Oh.
There you go.
Look at this. It's a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of tuition.
Guitar scale length shootout.
Question, is there a reason why there's no sounds like the Eagles? Because they would copyright it? I think they are so unique, it's a big miss on the channel. That is from Stop Snooping.
Well, we can certainly ask for it. We can put it on the list. And somebody mentioned Gary Clark Jr. as well. I think we have
not done a Sounds Like the Eagles.
No, but I think we have done Gary Clark Jr.
I just have to say, because the whole sounds like thing is, it's quite a technical thing for Abir and Matt to put together. We don't interfere. They just do what they want to do.
Yeah.
So you have to pester those two if you would like a particular one.
Oh,
and of course, right now it's impossible to do any because of social distancing. Okay,
Rightly,
I'm doing it. What key are we in?
You play the normal key. 1. So you. Are we not in tune? Are you tuned?
I think so. I'm not. Oh, hang on, maybe not. Oh man, are we doing requests now? That's a minimum £10 or equivalent.
Well, this was 50.
All the money's going to charity, by the way. I did say. Is that a lot?
For his glory. It's about 5. Well, at the moment, it's probably about 200,000 UK pounds. That's about 5 quid. Is it? Probably 5 quid.
Okay, am I here? I don't know if I'm here.
1, 2, 4.
Oh, where am I? Am I in the right key now?
You were there.
What are you?
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
I couldn't do any more. It wasn't sounding good. I had to bail.
Oh, that was
Eric
just,
Clapton
that was
has just unsubscribed.
He's like, I'm never coming to see those
never
guys.
coming to see those guys
Absolutely
again.
not. Jesus Christ. What else have we got here? Marshall DSL20 or Origin 20?
David Dawson, I apologise if I've missed your question multiple times before. New USA Epiphones will absolutely get reviewed by Ben on our acoustic channel once it's safe to do so. Oxbox, Tube Amp Expander, TN Captor X, 2 notes to Captor X, or something else for the bedroom playing with a tube amplifier. All three are very, very, very good.
Yeah, depending on what you need.
In fairness, we're quite sort of spread out. We've got an aux up here, a tube amp expander down here. Most of the stuff you see Robert do is 2 notes. So I think for me, what appeals about the aux box is they've designed the graphical interface for stupid people. So I find it very easy to use. I totally understand the tube amp expander on paper's got way more features.
Yeah, it's a bit old-fashioned too.
A little bit. And 2 notes I've never really got into just because I think they are just more complicated to use. But they're the original.
Yeah,
they were the original proper. And Robert gets arguably the best sound of all of us out of his stuff. So
he gets good sounds of anything.
Totally wasn't helpful, was it?
No.
But any of those.
Somebody was asking Lee about DSL20 or Origin 20.
Have you got any pedals? I don't know what the answer is. If you have pedals, Origin 20. If you don't have any pedals, DSL.
I agree. What he said.
There we go. What other song should we butcher now?
My purple telly is at home at my house. Somebody said, is D minor the saddest key of all?
There's got to be a sadder one than that, hasn't there?
Well,
Well, that was sad and slightly scary. Isn't E minor quite sad? Yeah, I think E minor's sadder than D minor.
I'm so sad. I don't know what I'm doing. No, we can't hear that because it's clipping.
Oh, that's true. We got this cool new feature on our microphones where when we play guitar, it stops our voices coming through because the string noise was annoying us. But now we can't speak and play guitar at the same time. I'm going... Is this the saddest chord? Or is this the saddest chord? That sounds quite merry compared to this.
Okay, stop that now. We got some more questions.
What's the time anyway? We can't. 10 more minutes.
Yeah,
10 more minutes.
DJ Ashley, thank you very much for your donation. If you could use only.
I thought that was going to be DJ Ashby for a minute there, the Guns N' Roses dude, but maybe it's not.
If you could only use one guitar as a weapon in a zombie apocalypse, which would it be? Gene
Simmons' axe-shaped bass.
Yeah.
That would be a good one.
Or like Flying V, and you can stab two at the same time.
Go. Or you use it to hold their head to a wall while someone else comes in. What up?
Yeah.
But what wouldn't I use? I wouldn't use anything like semi-hollow, like a Gretsch or something like that.
No, that's not worth it.
You need some weight behind it.
Here is Shawnee is Cubs fan 1. Hi guys, what do you think of Leonard Skinner? Cheers from Chicago.
We've got to be careful here because there's been a few people going. Musically, they're awesome, but I think we're trying to get drawn on. What do we think of them politically? So let's not go there. But I do love Sweet Home Alabama and
Here you go.
Freebird.
That's a good one. Sam Brooks, thank you very much. Pete, can you say kids casket?
Is that really hard for a Danish person to say?
Statue casket. It's so statue is a stand, and stakit is a fence, and casket is a hat. So you have to say statue, stakit, casket, statue, casket. You can't say it.
Can you say red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry,
red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry, red lorry, yellow lorry.
See?
Yeah.
No one can do that. Can you say she sails seashells on the seashore?
No.
Can you say I'm not a pheasant plucker, I'm the pheasant plucker's son, and I'm only plucking pheasants till the pheasant plucker comes?
And you know what I'm going to say if I do that. So
I totally do. Do you like the fact that I did it even though we're live and I didn't get it wrong? That was
pretty
close.
lucky.
That was close. She Sells Sanctuary. I don't even know why that's there, but it's a great tune from The Cult. Not enough people. That album, The Cult Electric, does not get enough credit for what a brilliant album it was. Or maybe it does. It's a brilliant album.
So somebody says Lindsay L, and we actually did meet her at NAMM briefly.
Yes.
Which was really...
$2 is not getting you Little Wing, Steely Sam. That is a $50 song, if ever there was one. Don't do it, Pete. Thank you, Sam. You're a very kind person who could be either a man or a woman with a name like that. Probably a man. Just saying.
Hashtag.
You're all welcome here.
You guys never make me smile. What? You guys never fail
There's
to
a
make
song.
me smile. Thank you.
You never fail to make me smile.
Because I'm so happy.
Where did your reverb come from then?
It was from my slur.
Right.
From,
thoughts on Evertune? Thinking of picking up the new Schecter Banshee with Evertune Bridge. Now, there we go. We're getting technical, back to guitar again.
Yeah.
My Luddite brain can't cope with the fact that if I go like this on a string, that the note might stay the same.
Yeah, but it doesn't. If you tuned it correctly from the beginning, it doesn't do that.
Yeah,
and
but
that's the whole beauty of it.
But it can do.
No.
Or you do it like this. And as fast as you're doing vibrato, it compensates.
If you manage to tune it properly before it sets in, it works absolutely perfectly.
What is this tuning thing that you speak of? Hang on. This is like a... Yeah, it's fine. We're okay. We're good to go.
Yeah, we can tune.
What does everyone else think of Evertune? I mean, it's basically, isn't it
clever,
just,
man.
But isn't it just has one purpose? If you are a genty player and you put big strings on, you go boom 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 boom. It just stops that bloom.
No,
that's Orlando Bloom.
If you check out Andy James, he uses it on his guitars, and it's absolutely perfect.
He's a metal player.
Yes, but he still bends strings, and you can.
I'm not saying I don't agree with what it does. Is that the G? I'm just saying, what other style of music other than metal needs an Evertune? Is there one? Or are you arguing that anything that needs to be in tune should have an Evertune?
Yes, but then you can argue about the G4, whatever the tuners were called on the Gibsons.
Well, that was because it tuned itself. Evertune doesn't do that, does it?
No, it just keeps it in tune, but it does kind of tune it, doesn't it?
Domestics. Good job we're not in the same room, Peter. Smash your face in. So
I actually didn't mind the tuning Gibson thing.
I've said it before. I think it's the future. I think it just needs to be cleverer. I think it needs to be Alexa,
like
tune my guitar, and that's it. Done.
And you hang it on a stand, and it wirelessly charges and all that stuff.
Yeah, it just needs to be cleverer.
G-Force is totally different. You're right.
Would it be Alexa or would it be Siri? Hey Siri, give me a dadgad tuning. It's actually doing it. Turn off. What can it even do?
Greenbacks for metal, yes or no? I would say you probably need V40s.
V30.
V30, sorry, yeah.
Vintage 30s.
Yeah.
I don't know, Greenback is a very relatively low output, vintage sounding... do you know what? I bet there's no right or wrong answer on that one, Pete. Because I bet you some producer in the world will go, yeah, I've got a Greenback loaded 4x12 that I use for all my metal stuff. So
my boogie's all V30.
What did... I tell you, there was a good bit about speakers in the Mick Thompson interview that we did earlier this year, because his tech and Mick himself explains about the speakers that he uses in his cab, and that was informative. But I can't remember what he said, so you'll have to go and watch it.
This purple guitar is a G&L Espada. Look at that. Isn't that just gloriously beautiful?
Come on, Pete, your bonus question. What does Espada mean in Spanish?
It means sword.
Damn it, he remembered.
Because this looks a bit like a sword, innit? This bit.
What is a Turkish pepper or salt fisk?
Åh, tyrkisk peber, mand. Eller saltfisk. Tyrkisk peber. Helt sikkert. Tyrkisk peber.
What?
Tyrkisk peber is it's like a hard candy, but inside it's a pepper. Like pepper stuff
You love
inside it.
like savoury candy, don't you?
I love the licorice with the salt on it. Ammonia.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling like we're
Are we coming to a normal conclusion?
I'm feeling like this has been enough for Friday afternoon. Thank you for the 1,400 people who have been watching us for the duration of this video.
Hey Siri, hey Siri, hey Siri, hey Siri. Oh shit, my phone is going off now.
What are you trying to get? They can't hear you up here. I mean, you're in headphones.
No, I'm trying to get everybody else's iPad to go off
I
out
see.
there.
That's a good one. Yeah. Alexa, put Andertons TV on repeat. Siri, play Andertons TV non-stop for the next 10 days. Right, come on. Let's...
Here's the last question here from Willie M415. PRS or Gibson for first humbucking guitar or something else? That depends on what got the money. I don't know. I mean, go and try some out. Whatever you feel like is the thing you need to go and try guitar out and play, and you go, if it's a PRS or it's a Gibson or it's anything else.
I think if you've learned anything from watching this channel over the last few years, is there isn't a right or wrong in music. There's only what you like. There's no guitar that you need to reach a certain level of ability to be able to play. This is great.
You just talk with a soft voice, and I just play.
When we edit this and put this out as a normal stream, I want heavy reverb and some sort of octave effect on my voice. So here we go. Baby, I just want to tell you, just the fact that you play guitar, it's everything you'll ever need. Can't do it anymore. Right, that's it. Come on. We need. Are we jamming out or are we just going home?
I think we're just going home. It's Friday afternoon. It's 4:30, and I think we've done our bit.
We've had some fun. We've learnt a lick.
Fun. Thank you very much, everybody.
We've talked guitars. I enjoy this. We'll see you here next week. We shall keep these socially distanced. Do you know what? When you sit like that, Pete, the perspective on the camera makes your knees and makes the bottom of your legs look really short. Makes your front bit of your crotch look like very wide, and your head look really small.
It's because it's a wide angle screen. If I stick my head all the way in.
That's a good look. Wow, man.
I just need plastic surgery or something, don't I?
It's beyond that, I think. It's a full new identity. Right, come on.
I blame Leo.
It's all his fault. I think we're just done, aren't we? Right?
Do you want to do a jam?
Let's do a Friday jam.
Yeah.
Come on, Friday jam.
And then
everybody
we'll
jam with us.
goodbye.
We want to break a world record for the biggest number of guitar
Everybody
players
gets
that
the,
we can't hear ever.
And what do you want?
Oh, what? No. Loop something a bit more atmospheric and contemporary.
I'm not sure if it's going to work. Let's see if we can loop something.
Oh yeah, I might not be able to jam over a loop. I probably can.
No, we can because we are.
So we're just so you know as well. I mean, it's like Pete and I are connected via about a 40-meter long cable. So there might be some latency across the cable, but hopefully not discernible. I love it already. You lot make up some lyrics to this and type them in your question thing, and I'll try and sing the lyric to the tune. That's it. I need the lyrics to come in. There's a slight delay on the questions. What key have you gone for this one then? done a complicated key. Okay. Nothing makes me cry like Andertons on the fly. Picking up the guitar now, I was happy in the haze of a golden hour. Budweiser, thanks for this, guys, cheers. This song is for the pandemic non-believers who will be proven correct. One string at a time, Friday afternoon in Surrey. Hey, Jeff, see you in Blighty. I'm going in again. Daffodils and dandelions, daffodils and dandelions. I've got big shoes, little feet. How about follow up Laura Cogg's interview? Saucy stuffers we are ignoring. Onions are so tasty, brilliant, thanks. Real grim, cops and lockdown segregation seems to be the way. I love mowing my lawn. Pete's man spreading puts mine to shame. Are you singing? I love, honestly, I thought some of those just randomly singing the lyrics was the best video content we've ever put out. Remember, if you like Andertons, you can purchase one of these fine-looking t-shirts from andertons.co.uk. They're £20 with free delivery in the UK. But actually to America, I think they work out about $20 and the shipping's only like $9. Just saying. Anyway, that's it. I think we're done. How do we do a fade out? Do we do a fade out?